My 2 daughters, I'm very close to them. We're a close family, but there are some things you just got to solve by yourself.
Outwardly all the time, and it's just these other delusions that get in the way of that.
No more will I be in a job that I hate. Just decide, man. Making action a must will piss all over the fear you have, I promise you that.
I can tell you from personal experience that it's easy to get off track by focusing too much on your mistakes, or focusing too much on your missed opportunities, or focusing too much on what disappointed you or who disappointed you, what you don't want to do. Just put so much energy into what happened that you miss out on what is happening. You should be in such a zone that your mind is only programmed to look forward. You are not looking backwards. You are not looking to the right. You are not looking to the left. You gotta be focused once you get clear. On what you want, you have to have the courage to chase it. At the end of the day, you can't let your disappointment stop your grind.
And you've got to learn to handle the time alone. I wrote a little thing one time, how to go from average to fortune, and I had 5 points. First was get serious. To do well, you got to be serious. You don't have to be grim, but you must be serious. Next, I said, get smart. You got to know more this year than you did last. You got to catch up. A guy said to me one time, he said, well, I know you're always talking about reading books, library, read the books. But he said, I just can't get excited about reading. I said, sir, you do not read because you are excited. You read because you must. How far behind do you want to fall?
Well, we're oddly attracted to negativity too. It's almost like we look at negativity online or that you run into as like a possibility of war. God damn it, there's an army on the background. They're coming. But, it's like this real impulse to sort of batten down the hatches. 36-year-old loser sitting in his parents' basement, farting and smelling his own farts and angry online. I mean, that's really what a lot of you're dealing with. You're dealing with like really sick people, like people that have just, for whatever reason, they've not found their path. They've not found any happiness. They've not found any fulfillment. They haven't found any growth. They're just stifled or rotten in some sort of a weird way. It just hasn't really worked for them.
Yeah.
And so they're lashing out. They're lashing out at the world. And you run into one of those, and you're like, people suck.
Yeah, and that's the initial response. And then the more conscious response is to look at them and have compassion for that person.
You gotta get smart. You gotta keep up. Knowledge is flowing at an incredible rate these days, so you just gotta know more about your business and about life and human behavior and what's going on. So get smart. Third is get excited about your ability to discipline yourself to do anything. Guess what you could do starting Monday to change your whole life? Anything, everything. It's not a question of what you can do. It's just a question of what you will do. Guy says, well, I got to get up and go to work on Monday morning. See, that's not true. That's probably what you will do. But that's not what you could do. You could write a whole new chapter starting Monday and tear up the old one, if you wish. It's choice time, right? Whatever you wish.
Yeah, that's hard to do, right?
That is hard to do, and our system isn't based upon that. Even if you look at the U.S. penal system, it's very much about punishment. Whereas if you watch that documentary that Michael Moore did, Who to Invade Next, where they go to Norway, they have a whole different idea of what the penal system is for. It's about restoring human dignity and cultivating, a change, really making change in the person. It's not about punishment. It's about actually changing that individual so he doesn't do it again. And then you look at the recidivism rates between our prisons and Norway's prisons, and they're just dramatically different. That impulse to punish immediately, is not the healthiest impulse. That's just going to create more issues down the road. You're not rehabilitating anybody. You're just taking even more broken people and putting them out in the world and hoping they're not going to do broken things. The right impulse is always that compassion and looking to see as if that was you. And choices. I'm not overriding the fact that they had choices in all this.
You control your life, not things surrounding you. You have got to do better each and every day. You have got to grow stronger each. And every day you have got to stop allowing things that doesn't concern you. Enough to hurt you and put you down because you're depletion becomes something else. Because once you feel depleted and you're not realizing that maybe I'm just a little tired but I'm not dead, but you're focusing too much on the weakness and you're thinking because you're depleted, you're done. Then maybe you are done. Maybe you're not truly as strong as you think you are. Maybe you don't really have that mental fortitude. Maybe you've just been faking. Maybe you're just not cut up for this. Because there's always people out there that are looking at you and waiting for you to fail, waiting on you to give up.
There is happiness to be found all around us, even in the darkest corner, and I know some of you are there, in the darkness, and you're going through shit, but trust me when I say there is always hope. It all comes down to perspective. Seriously, when it gets bad and on top of you and you feel like you can't go on, remember one thing. You're alive, and nothing out there, no problem, big or small, is worse than being dead. Nothing. Don't you ever think about throwing this thing we call life down the toilet because you don't think dealing with this is easier than dying because you're wrong. What makes you happy? Happiness is the key. I believe that success is measured by a person's happiness, not their achievements or their bank account.
It seems that nothing good is happening in our lives. We are afraid to fall down. Why? Why is this happening? Why am I in this dark place? Why do I feel so lost? Why are things constantly hurting me? What do I do? These questions sometimes will never necessarily be answered. But we must know, when it's all said and done, we will all fall down, but we must learn to get up.
When you get frustrated, you pursue for as long as it takes. So I have a question for you when you're disciplined enough to keep going. Can I tell you something? You ain't met the real you. Until you have to use your power, that's the real you. Many of you are like a superhero. Truth be told, you ought to rejoice, because you have love, power, joy, power, faith, power. You also have comeback power. What is comeback power? Comeback power is the ability to overcome any obstacle, challenge, or difficulty. You have this innate ability, this instinct on the inside. Come back from it. Anything your human side quits everything quickly.
Not by how much money they have, how much money they make, what car they drive, what watch they wear, but how happy the person is and how happy they make others around them. I truly do.
The reason most people don't take action is simple. It's fear. Fear of failure, fear of success. And the only way to overcome this and to stop making bullshit excuses why you shouldn't act is to make not taking action more painful than taking action. People sit around and they focus on all the bad shit that might happen to them if they try to act, that they completely forget about what will happen if they don't. So think about it right now. At the moment, your brain thinks like this. Trying this new thing will be hard, it will be risky, etc., etc. Basically, associating taking action with pain.
We must respect the fact that this is a part of the life that we have all been given. There can be no success without a failure attached to it. There can be no strength without a little bit of weakness. There can never be power if there is nothing else to ignite that power. We cannot run from it. We cannot hide from it. It is a mandatory thing, and situations will come. There will be unexplained circumstances that will come into your life, but you must be built for it. You must understand that it is a necessary opportunity for you to find out exactly what you are ultimately made of. It is not going to be an easy day. Failure will come.
Gift of giving, a gift of receiving, and rather if it's good or bad. You've got to make sure you understand that these circumstances and these challenges has to happen in your life. You will come to a point that you may feel that you are in a hopeless situation. You may cut to a point in your life where you are at the end of a rope, and the only thing left to do is to climb up, because you only can do so much for so long. But make sure you're doing much more instead of doing less. Stop stressing about the things that you cannot control and stop focusing on the things that you have control of. Take control of your life, take control of the opportunities. Believe in yourself and know that it is not over for you.